and welcome to Beads Jar. My name's Billy, and in today's tutorial I'll be making up this beautiful GemDuo and SuperUno beaded bracelet called the Diamond Weaver. I do hope you enjoy this project. For the design today, we'll be working with these pink lustered SuperUnos. We've got our Miyuki size 11s. I've got a toggle clasp and 2 jump rings, the O beads, and we've got the new GemDuos. I'll be threading them onto the Beadsmith Fireline. I've chosen the dark colour, the smoke colour for this one. I'll have to use my precision scissors for those fiddly little ends we need to cut off, and size 10 beading needles. I've pre-threaded 1.5 meters of the smoke Fireline, and I've put that onto a size 10 beading needle. To start our project, we're going to use one of the SuperUno beads. This is just as our starter bead and will be taken off at the end of the project. So you're just going to thread that onto your needle. We're going to go down our thread, and you're going to leave about a 15 centimeter tail after the SuperUno. So we've gone through, and now we're going to just go back up with the needle, creating a loop around the end of the SuperUno bead. I then want 7 of my Miyuki seed beads. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the Miyukis here. Take them down your thread and against the SuperUno bead at the bottom. And then we're going to start threading the bracelet. So we're going to pick up our gem bead and go through the hole. Next you want an O bead, one of the Super O's, an O bead, and a GemDuo. So this is our beading pattern. So we've got our GemDuo, O bead, SuperUno, O bead, and GemDuo. And we're going to keep threading this pattern until we have the length required for our bracelet. Then we'll be coming back along, but I'll show you the next step after you've got the full length required, along the top row, and I'll be showing you how to also complete the fastenings on either side. So as from this point, we're going to keep going with that beading pattern. So we want an O bead, SuperUno, O bead, and we want our GemDuo. Doesn't matter if they're flipping a little bit at this point. As we come back along the other side, they'll all sit wonderfully and correctly. Just keep going through nice and calmly with the threading pattern that we're doing. So O bead, SuperUno, O bead, and your GemDuo. One little tip I would say, the quality on the GemDuos is very, very good. However, what I would suggest is to just check that the holes are fine on the other sides as well, because you don't want to go all the way along your beading project and then realise that you've got one that's got a blocked hole. So you can either take your needle through, or you can just check them by eye to make sure before you thread them all up. Okay, I'll rejoin you in a moment. So I've finished threading the length I need in the pattern, same pattern as where we left off. So what you should have is a bracelet length, but allowing also for the fastener that we're going to add in the middle. So I'm on to my very last bead on this side of the bracelet project. So I'm just going to finish with one of the GemDuos. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to repeat how we did at the beginning with the 7 Miyuki seed beads. So I've got the 7 on my needle, straight down to the GemDuo. And I'm going to pick up 1 O bead. I'm going to take my O bead down, and I'm not going to go back through the O bead, but I'm going to go to the side of that, and I'm going to go through 3 of my seed beads. So I've just gone through with the needle on the first 3 seed beads, and that's going to make my O sit up like that. And I'm going to pick up 4 of the Miyukis. And now I'm going to go back through the GemDuo on the opposite side of the row we threaded. So I'm going to go back through that. And I'm going to start threading along this way. Now please don't be worried to turn the project round so you're working to a comfortable side for yourself. So for example here, if I move that bracelet upwards, I can then work more comfortably because I'm using my right hand. So I'm going up through my beads, but if you're left-handed and you need to change that round, then just whichever is comfortable for you. And as you can see, we're just going to be adding the SuperUnos along the next side here. If you really want to, I know the Fireline's very strong, but if you want, you can come across with your needle and go back through and repeat this sequence until you're back to here, so that you're reinforcing this fastening section. I personally don't feel the need, but if you really want to and you feel you'll be happy with your project, then go ahead and do that. So all I'm going to do from now on is just repeat the pattern down this side. Once we've started to get this tension along this side, you'll notice all your SuperUnos stick out correctly and stay in position rather than flopping in. And I'm just going to keep going along with that all the way. So as you can see, we've come down the top row and we're back to where we started with our starter bead, and this is my thread with the needle coming out on the top here. I'm just going to move the project like so. And I did mention as well that all the SuperUnos would sit out properly, and as you can see, they are all sitting correctly. Now we've got the tension going on the other side. So I'm just going to move the project so that we can see from this side. And we're going to add our 4 seed beads here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. On this side we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to go up through the 3 and just out to the side of that. So I'm not going through that SuperUno that was our starting bead. Okay. So you can clearly see the starting thread and where we're coming out with the thread with the needle side on. And we're going to pick up our O bead, and I'm going to go back down through the first 3 to show you. First 3 seed beads, and you'll see my needles come out there, and that will sit our O bead correctly. I'm now going to take that needle back down again, so I'm going to go through the next 4 take your time on this section. You don't want to have thread sticking out where it's not meant to. So we've come down, and again, always make sure you're working from a comfortable position so you're not twisting yourself in knots and making it difficult. So I've just come back down and I've moved the project, so I'm going across from right to left, and I'm going to go through, I've come out through one of the O beads there, and I'm going to go through until I get to the next GemDuo. So I've come out through the O bead, through the SuperUno and the O bead, and I'm coming out next to the second GemDuo, and this is where I'm going to tie this side off, and then we'll go back to the starter bead and tie that side off as well. So my thread's now coming out of the side of the GemDuo and before the O bead. And I'm going to take my needle, so I've picked up the project in my hand, under the thread, so my needle's under the thread running through the project. And as I pull on that, we've got a loop of thread here. And we're going to go back through that loop with the beading needle. And we're going to pull that nice and secure. So I'm pulling that knot right down so it's hidden in between these two beads. Get my needle again, and I'm going to go through this O bead and the SuperUno and the O bead. So that knot that we just created is really nice and hidden there, and I'm going to do the same. So under the thread, so my needle's under the thread here, and we come up. There's our loop of thread, and we go back through. So the needle's through that loop there, and we pull that tight down to the thread. So we're hiding that. Go across again. So I'm going through this GemDuo, the O bead, SuperUno, and here I'm actually going to cut my thread off. Okay, so we've got the two knots either side, and we no longer need this thread. We still have this one, we're just cutting the thread with the needle on it, and that has disappeared now into our beading work along there. I'm going to remove the needle from the thread that I've just cut off, and here you want to take the SuperUno off. And it should, if you pull hard enough, just slide off the thread. If you are having problems, you might need to use your beading needle to take it, but it should just slide off with a bit of a pull. And we're just going to take that bead away now, we don't need it, and we're going to re-thread the Fireline onto our beading needle and tuck this end in. So needle threaded back on, and I'm going to go up through the O bead. So this was the 15cm tail that we'd left, and back down through our seed beads. There we are. Oh. So the first three, you may notice I've done the first three, and we'd finished the knots on this side, so I'm gonna go down the opposite side to finish the knots here. So I'm gonna go down these 5 seeds and the gem, and then through the next 4 beads until I come out, and then I'm going to start my knotting exactly the same way we did the other side. So up, you've got a little bit less to play with on this side because we gave 15cm on our tail end, but you should have plenty. So we've done the knot, back through the beads, and your second knot. And you're probably thinking, But Billy, we haven't got a fastener on here. So I've left these O beads and I'm actually going to connect the fastener to the O beads to give us a slightly different effect. So you just want to be using your pliers. You may need 2 pairs and a jump ring. And I'm just going to take that jump ring onto the O bead. And I've chosen this toggle fastener, which I thought looked very nice with the colour of the beads that we've used in the project. So I'm just going to hook that on. Get another pair of pliers and you just want to close your jump ring. So the jump ring is connected to our bead in this design, just to give us a slightly different effect than beading our fasteners on. And we're going to go through the O bead on the opposite side and with the alternative side to our toggle fastener. And we close that jump ring as well. And that will give you your little toggle fastener on this very cute project. Thank you for watching our tutorial today. If you've enjoyed it, give us a big thumbs up, and remember, you can always subscribe to see all of our latest projects available on the YouTube channel. Until next time, bye!